Oh, it's asking me to. Okay, got it. Right. Hello, Alex. It's nice to meet you. How are you doing?
Hi, it's nice to meet you too. I'm doing pretty well today. You know, it's been a long couple of days. That's all.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to attend this session. I know there were some things off your intake that you wanted to discuss and some things that you were having trouble with. And first off, I just wanted to take a little time to just let you know what I do. I'm one of the counselors here at Well Life. And, I run group sessions, individual sessions, and I want to help you to work towards your goals and see what we can figure out through the next couple of weeks during our individual sessions. And as far as confidentiality goes, I wanted you to know that, whatever you say in our sessions, it's all confidential, unless you disclose something along the lines that you're going to harm yourself or somebody else. It's the only time I would have to take it out of this context, being that I'm a mandated reporter. So do you have any questions as far as the confidentiality?
No, I don't. I understand it pretty well. I know you can't really talk about what we discuss in our cases to the public, so I'm not particularly worried about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Alex, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, the reason I'm coming in here is because I'm kind of struggling with my health. I've this is something that's been going on for a very, very long time, and I seem to have a lot of difficulty with it. I've tried for a very, very, very long time, and like nothing seems to really work for me, and I'm not 100% sure what to do. So I kind of want to talk about it, hoping that that's going to help me.
Well, it's great that you're taking an initiative to take the steps towards, finding a solution. And can you describe a little bit what type of challenges you're experiencing with your health that you're concerned about?
Um, Primarily it's my exercise. I'm not really happy about it. I know my nutrition and my diet could be a little bit better as well, but I try and control that a little bit more. But with exercise, I've tried so many times and I failed so many times, and it's just it makes me feel like crap. That I fail and I let myself down every single time. So it's like that's what I really want to talk about.
Sounds like it's been really frustrating for you.
It has, yeah. It's been going on for, like I said, for a few years already, and it's just I don't know what to do.
So what have you tried in the past, as far as like your exercise goals? And you mentioned feeling like you have failed. What are some of the goals that you set that you felt like you weren't able to meet?
Well, for me, I've been trying to exercise since like I was a little kid, and back when I was in high school, I was very active and I played a lot of different sports, and I was on a cross country team. I was doing really, really well. I was the only high jumper in my whole entire school. So, I had a lot going for me and I was very physically active and I was in pretty good shape. And I'm looking back on this now, like it's been so many years that every time I tried to start working out, I just kind of fall halfway through. I set little goals for myself that I want to try and accomplish, but I'm just every time I start going to the gym or open up a gym membership, I go for a little bit and I stop going. The most recent venture was when my girlfriend wanted me to open up a gym membership so she can go when she was coming over and staying with me. And I still have the membership open. I just can't bring myself to actually go. And I don't know really, like I can't set good, solid goals for myself to actually be able to accomplish them.
So on one hand, you're taking a lot of steps and you're using the support, of your girlfriend, it sounds like, to try to help you motivate you towards your goals. But it sounds like it also on the other hand, it's maybe not fitting in with your schedule. Is that correct? Or is there some barriers that you feel are getting in the way of you following through and maintaining that commitment?
I think honestly, it's my self-esteem. I firmly believe that if you want to make time for something, you're going to make it. And I know I can always make time to go to the gym, especially since the gym is a 24-hour fitness location. They're open basically 24 hours for 4 of the days of the week. And during the weekends, I work, and I do have a lot going on throughout the week. But I feel like for me, it's more so the recently I felt like it was more so the self-esteem. Like I become self-conscious when I go to the gym by myself, and I feel weird being around a bunch of people who are 5 times my size, and I feel intimidated by it. So that kind of discourages me from going to work out at these local places, and that kind of just puts a damper on me.
You've been feeling like you're comparing yourself to others when you're going to the gym.
I do feel that way, yes.
So overall, it sounds like going to the gym and trying that way maybe has been hurting your self-esteem more. Is there any other types of exercises that you like to do where you wouldn't be around others that might help you to just focus on your goal of improving your health?
And I've thought about possibly getting up early and going out for a walk early in the morning. But because I go to sleep so late, most of the times I wake up now, it's just kind of right before I have to get the day started, and I have just enough time to kind of get coffee, get breakfast, and get to wherever I have to go. Whether it's school or my field placement or my job. Um, so it's like I know there are some exercises I could do, and then I just kind of I procrastinate with starting them. So I don't know what to do about that either, honestly.
I think, it like you said, it's important to you. It sounds like, finding a way, being persistent with trying to find an exercise that could fit into your busy schedule, is something that you really value. Is there a time during the day possibly that you could integrate a brief workout, whether it's a lunch break or something after work?
Honestly, this where it also becomes kind of difficult because, during the week, I most of the times I'm really busy from by the time I wake up to by the time I go to sleep. Because I am also a full-time student, so it's hard for me to like between my field placement and my job, it's almost like a full-time job, and within the hours, it's almost a full-time job. That takes up about 4 hours of my week alone, and then I have to spend more time, midterms, exams, all these other homework assignments. So I actually don't even get a chance to really even eat lunch most of the days. I kind of have a early breakfast or a little bit of a later breakfast, and then dinner at like 7, 8 p.m. Yeah.
So time is something that's, of the essence, right? With a busy schedule like that. And to improve your health and to make sure that you have time to eat, right? It's in practicing healthy self-care sometimes is really difficult when you have so much on your plate. And we can often put ourselves last in the equation. Um, and, is there, as far as barriers, do you see any other barriers or any aspects of your schedule you could maybe change around a little bit to maybe have just one day of the week where you can establish that time for yourself to reach those goals?
I feel like I could do that. Like I said earlier, I can definitely make time for this, and it's just I think for me right now, it's just difficult for me to kind of start up. That's where I'm really struggling with it. Kind of just getting started again. Like I said, I've kind of been down on myself about it for so long that I just kind of want to start anew. I'm just looking for that motivational factor again. You know, that's kind of because I do have like one day a week I can, start exercising a little bit during the day, and most of the times the day ends up escaping me because I just preoccupy myself too much with all these other things that, if it's not school or work, it's family or friends or my girlfriend. So I do find myself kind of preoccupied too much, and I probably could work on that a little bit as well.
Right. How does your having, not reaching your health goals, how does that impact those other areas of your life, such as your relationships, work? Do you feel that it's also affecting those areas?
I mean, I feel like because of my job, I do get some exercise because I have to be on my feet majority of the day and walking around everywhere. So I do feel like, during the weekends I do get some activity. But I know it's also like being unhealthy and not exercising properly. I felt like I've been losing like sleep. I've been feeling a little bit more unwell. I know now with the winter coming around, it's going to be like I gotta look out for my health even more. Um, so that's kind of like I know my job helps me a little bit, but it's more so I'm more concerned about like my health overall now that I'm going into, winter. I don't want to get sick or anything like that. I know exercise was at one point been a very big part of my life, and it's been over a decade since then. So I kind of just worry that I won't be able to ever get it back.
Well, it sounds like it's something that's really has been concerning you a lot. And if you were to rate on a scale 1 through 10 of your confidence in your ability to make this change, where do you think you'd fall on that scale?
I'd say probably 4 out of 10 in terms of confidence. Kind of on the lower end. Normally I would say it's 50-50. But right now, with how things are going for me, I feel like it would be more closer to a 4 or even a 3 out of 10.
Mhm. And ideally, if there was some, small attainable goal, to work towards, if there's one thing that you think you could, do day to day, what's a small goal that you think would be manageable in your busy schedule?
I think one thing I could probably do is like start walking around my block. It's not a big area, just very, very hilly, but I feel like maybe that's kind of a small little change I can try and start to do. Like between working on homework and doing whatever I have to do. I feel like maybe I could take like a 15-minute break and start going out for a walk, and maybe that's like a small little change I can make.
So starting off 15 minutes a day, 1 day per week might be a great way to start. You seemed like you got a little confident when you identified that you could possibly manage that throughout your day. Just 15 minutes and for 1 week and just starting there. How does that sound? How do you think that might help
I
you?
think I think that's something I could do. If I add that to my schedule of everyday routine, I'm sure that, doing it one day a week or 2 days a week will be good. And like I said, it is getting colder outside, which is my only concern because I don't want to freeze to death walking around. But I feel like if I can maybe start doing this, making this little change, maybe, eventually I'll be able to boost my confidence again to be able to go back to the gym. I think that might be a feasible possibility for me.
I think it sounds like a great idea and something that, will help you also to alleviate that stress that you feel, within your schedule. Um, and as far as the winter, it sounds like you're, worried about the winter and how you're going to be able to, it's already been difficult for you to reach this goal. And there's been a lot of obstacles and you're concerned about the winter. Are there any workouts that you've tried in the past that were helpful, that were indoor that you recommend?
Um, I do have a weight jacket that I have used before for weightlifting, but my body has suffered a lot of damage over the years. So I know I probably should also go to physical therapy first to kind of address the more immediate concerns in my body. But um, I feel like the starting the walking on a weekly basis might be a good opportunity for me to be able to kind of get myself back on my feet. Um, you know, um, is there any suggestions that you're willing to give me for before we meet again next week about some of the things that maybe I could do differently this week? I know we discussed the 15-minute walks, and I'm willing to give that a try. Is there anything else you think I should try?
I definitely have some suggestions I could offer to you. But one thing I wanted to just touch on before we concluded our session, because you mentioned your diet, and I just wanted to ask you about that a little bit more, what your eating habits were like, because you said there were some times where you weren't really eating consistent meals. Can you describe your diet a little bit more?
Um, So for most dinners, I do cook at home unless my schedule prohibits me from doing so. So I do, for the most part, eat pretty healthy. I do get takeout a lot. Um, and I've seen myself reduce the amount that I'm eating of fast foods. So I haven't actually eaten fast foods in I'm gonna say a little bit over 2 months now, and that was a good change for me to kind of go on because I always felt awful after I ate it.
Mhm.
So I stopped eating fast foods. I am spending a little bit more money on takeout, but like I said, it's only on the days when my schedule just doesn't let me do it. And besides that, I do try and kind of maintain, if I'm hungry, I eat type of mentality. So whenever I get hungry, I try and get food. If I'm not able to get food because I'm working, then, I just eat as soon as I'm done with whatever I'm doing.
So it
Yeah.
sounds like you've already taken that step towards decreasing the amount of fast food that you're having.
I felt like it was a step in the right direction.
I agree. I think it's a great step, and I think it's going to help you to achieve those goals, along with fitting in the exercise. And I'd love to follow up next week and see how that worked for you with the exercising the 15 minutes. And we
Mhm.
can check back next week if this same time works for you.
Yeah, the same time works for me. And thank you so much. And
Thank you.
I will see you next week.
Okay, it was so great talking with you. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Look forward
Likewise.
to
Thank
next
you.
week. Bye.